Good morning, everyone. It's Stamp Fetchers with Shauna. Welcome to Coffee Break Stamping on Saturday, August 22nd. I'm just going to see if I can link up here to my iPad so I can see if anybody has hopped on with us this morning. Hope everybody's having a great Saturday and staying cool. Wow, have we ever had hot weather here? That's been amazing. This morning, I'm going to be sharing the scrappy strip technique with you. And this is moving around a little bit on me, kind of wiggly. It's going to be a great way to use up lots of your scraps of beautiful paper. We all have a stash of them, I'm pretty sure. And so that's the thing that you'll have on hand today that will help you to be able to do this, is grab some of those scraps. So in order to do this technique, basically you need adhesive, and I'm just going to use my Mono Multi liquid glue because it's really fast, and you need a paper trimmer. And to start off with, you're going to want a base card to attach your strips to. And today I'm using a white base card, but you could use colors too. Black is amazing, especially with some patterned papers, because you really see the little strips of black showing in between the designer paper, so you get a lot of contrast and pop. Some people have done it with red. You can experiment. Your base doesn't have to be white, but this morning that's what I'm using. So I'm just taking a look on to see. Oh, I think Lydia's there. Good morning, Lydia. Did you have coffee this morning down at the Burger Cabin? Oh, it is such a gem that we have here in Moose Jaw. Such a lovely place to have burgers or coffee or breakfast or lunch here in Moose Jaw. Yeah, we have to just take advantage of these few last beautiful days that we have. Okay, so going to get started. Grab, first of all, I should tell you the size that I've got of my base paper here. It is 4 inches by 3 inches. And again, you don't have to use that particular size or color for your base, but it's just a good general size, I think, that fits nicely onto the front of a card and works as a focal point. But you can, if you want your scrappy strips to take up more space on the back of your card, you can make it bigger, or you could even make it smaller too, just a little focal point. Hello, I think Karen and Sarah have joined on with us this morning too. Hope everybody's having a great Saturday. So this paper from last year's annual catalog, I think it was my very, very favorite paper from that catalog. I just adored it. I love the colors. I love the softness. Some of it is actually a little bit brighter. Like there's this side to the birds that's got a lot more going on. And yeah, maybe I should use this side and make things a little bit more exciting and jazzed up. Yeah, so it's just absolutely was some of my favorite, and I just held on to my leftovers. I did not throw it into my garage sale because that's how much I like it. Oh, Sarah, yeah, you like it too. It just makes me happy, this paper, and it has petal pink, which is one of my favorite pinks right now. So what I'll do is first of all, I'll take my scraps, and I'm going to cut them down to about 4 inches long, because I'm going to be placing my strips across like this, and I want the strips to be able to hang over, and this is 3 inches across here. So if I make them 4 inches, excuse me, I got a little bit of a frog here. So there's 4 inches there. Let's see, we'll do these birds. There's 4 inches there. This when you have a piece of paper that has a seam on it, you could do the scrappy strip technique just with that one piece and separate all the strips. You'd want to, it'd take a little bit more planning, that if you put the strips in order, you get the seam going across in a strip-like fashion. So that's kind of neat too. Oh, good morning to Jackie and Elaine. We've got a few people hopping on for coffee break stamping. Good to see you guys. Hope all is well. Maybe I'll cut two of these. I'm just cutting these to 4 inches right now. Oh, I love this one with the blossoms on it. 4 inches, 4 inches. I'm going to have way more than I need. But just to cut it down to, it's easy to work with, and it's a good size for the base paper. All right, so here we go. Now, the cutting part. Normally when we cut, we like to make sure everything is straight, and we, butt up against the top or else against the bottom of our paper trimmer, and that way we make sure we have square cuts. But the neat thing about the scrappy strip technique is that, well, the base paper is on the square. I showed you that. That's 4 by 3. But these strips can be cut on an angle. So you're going to want to tilt your paper back and forth like this as you're cutting. And you don't have to do any kind of special, just back and forth, back and forth. Look at that. So now I've got all these strips. I'll just shuffle those off to the side. I'll do one more here. Yeah, it's really fast. It's a great way just to, you can kind of, take out any pent up emotions with your paper trimmer. Just back and forth, whoops, back and forth. There we go. And you get a nice little pile of strips. It's quite quick, this part of it. And good morning to Cindy. Oh, thank you for joining on from North Dakota. And I really appreciate you sharing this with your friends. That helps to get the word out about my business. I so appreciate that. We're just working on the strappy stripped. I think maybe I should just stop saying that. There are some things that could go wrong if I keep working on that word for too much. Let's see. I don't think I did any of these birds yet. Or did I? Well, back and forth. So not lined up square at the ends at all. Just angle one way, angle the other way. Very quick. And so I think I've got way more than I need for this one card that I'm going to show you. I probably have cut enough paper here for like 3 cards. So you can get a lot of cards out of all of your scraps of pretty papers that you have on hand. Okay, so now somebody that has done a video on this technique that I've watched has said that you don't have to be super organized to do this kind of technique. You just start grabbing papers, and it can be quite random when you glue them down. Because sometimes when you plan it too much, it looks too, it looks like it's planned out too much. So you just start grabbing, and I know this is kind of backwards to how I would normally work. Normally I would put the glue on the back of the little strip, and then I'm going to go this way, and then glue it down to the base. But when you've got lots of strips to use, sometimes you just want to be able to do it quickly. So here we go. I'm just putting it right on the glue right on the base, and then adding the strip on top. And generally speaking, I'm working in a back and forth sort of fashion. So if the wide strip is at one end to begin with. Then I've been alternating and putting the wide for the other end. And you know what? This one I'm probably going to have 2 wides because that strip doesn't have very much of a difference between the narrow and the wide end there. So I'll do another wide on my left side here. And I am leaving, what is that? About, let's see, about an eighth of an inch between the strips, so you get a little bit of contrast in there. Just adds a little interest in there as well. I think I've seen people do scrappy strip too that have squeezed all the strips together, and there is no there's no space in between. Yeah, I'm going to have to look around and see if I can find some of those. I'm pretty sure I've seen some demonstrators do that too. But I kind of like it with just that little bit of breathing space in between. And it's getting you using up those paper, all those pretty papers that you've got on hand. Okay, so now, as you can see, I've gone over on this edge, I've gone over on that edge, and I've gone over down here on the bottom. So while I'm letting that dry, because this liquid glue just needs a few minutes, I am going to pull out my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and I'm going to cut the pieces that I will stamp my words on. Now, if you don't have a Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, you can just cut, use your paper trimmer and cut a rectangle to stamp your words on. I'm going to use this. It's going to be a thank you card. I can't thank you enough. But yeah, I decided I wanted my words to be stamped on circles, or a circle. And so that's why I'm going to use my machine, so that I can cut out a circle nice and easily without having to do any fussy cutting. So let's see here. If you're just joining on and you haven't seen this machine before, this is our new cutting and embossing machine that Stampin' Up! Is releasing. And all the platforms show you exactly how to build your sandwich to get the right amount of pressure to cut your shape. So I'm just going by, there's a layer 1, a layer 2, and here we go. 2 layer 3s. Hopefully you're able to see that in the corner of the camera there. So I'm gonna cut out, let's see, this white to stamp my words on. If you have any questions about this new tool, just give me a shout, and I'll move this back out of the road. Ooh, I should probably take those platforms off so they don't fall. Okay, so there we go. Got a circle. Get rid of that scrap. And oh shoot, I forgot something. Hello, hi to Denise and the other people who have joined on. Oh, Cindy, this is easier than I thought it would be. Yeah, I know. When you look at all these strips and whatnot, you start kind of thinking there's a lot going on. But yeah, some demonstrators have figured it out in a very simple fashion that makes it go a lot quicker than it would seem. Sorry, I forgot one more circle. This is going to be a scallop circle, and this will be a layer that will go behind the circle that I stamp my greeting on. There we go. Okay, so just like that, I've got circles, and now I can send this packing and get it out of the road. All right, circle, circle. I'll stamp my greeting there. Trying to remember what the name of this stamp set is that I grabbed this greeting from. It's one that has lots of great words. I'm not sure exactly how this is going to turn out. I've got two colors of ink. I've got Pool Party here, and I also grabbed my basic gray because both of those colors are supposed to be in this paper. And I'm going to go with Pool Party. I won't, sometimes I just overthink things way too much. So there we go. I can't thank you enough. Not my best stamping, but you get the idea. All right. And I'll adhere that. And hopefully by the time I've done this, my strips that I've adhered to that base the glue will mostly be dry on that as well. So then I can do the trimming that comes next with it. Yeah, you could really go into production and just get cutting and gluing and make a whole whack of these to have cards on hand all at once. And hello, Judy, and thank you so much. I appreciate that. It's so sentimental. All right, yes. There are so many stamp sets in our catalog, and to remember all those names, well, and I'm getting old. Okay, so back with the trimmer, and I find it easiest to turn this over. And I suppose you could go along with scissors, but you know what? It's just quick and easy and very straight with the trimmer. And that one edge that I left at the top, it's nice and straight and still accessible. So now I can line, now this is where we're going to want to square things up. I can line that edge up at the top of my trimmer, and then those scraps there are going to lie just along the cutting edge there. Ooh. Okay, little pieces, get out of the way. And now I just go all the way around and square it off. So super easy peasy. And it allows you to enjoy some of your favorite papers, even if you only have little bits of them left. Okay, so what I did now, what I'm going to do now is I've got a piece of cardstock that's got the petal pink in it, and it's just a tiny bit bigger than this. It is, let's see, so this was 4 by 3, so this is 4 1/8 by 3 1/8. So just a little bit shy of the 4 1/4 and 3 1/4. I know 8s are, they make my head hurt sometimes, but sometimes I really like just having that little bit of an edge showing. It looks nice and neat and crisp. Okay, now I've got a card base, just the standard 8.5 by 5.5, scored in the center there. And then this is a layer 5 1/4 by 4. And I think it would be really cool if you ran this layer through an embossing folder and created an embossed textured background, but I did not grab an embossing folder. So today we're just going to be really quick and just do it like this. You know which one I really think would look awesome for the background would be the Subtles embossing folder. It's the one that basically just makes your paper look like it's textured. I think that would look fabulous to finish this off, but mine is not close by, so we're just going to go with plain old Whisper White. And I'm going to use some dimensional adhesives here for this. It's always nice to have some layers that with a little bit of different levels to it, adds more interest to the card. So we're just about done. Okay, and neat thing about this technique, there's no right or wrong in terms of if you want to, make your strips going like this or your strips going like this. And if you want your card like that, you can do it this way. And if you want your card that way, you can do it that way. I think I'm going to go like that, and I'm pulling some more of these dimensionals here. So hello to the few people that have I think I put that on the wrong side. When I flip it over, I have to remember I'm working opposite. Hello to the people who have just hopped on. We're doing this scrappy strip technique and using up those little scraps of our designer papers. You're welcome, Karen. I'm glad that this is helpful for you. The brighter color really makes everything pop. Yeah, I'm glad that I put that in there because, you know, just before I went live, I practiced on another piece and I don't know if there's anything wrong with that either, but I think it could have used more different kinds of designer paper in there. And I think with this one, I also cut the strips a little bit bigger, and definitely cutting narrow strips, I think is a little bit more of a way to go. So, you know what? I think my thank you is too big. Yeah, you know what? Maybe I'll go there. I don't know. I was originally going to put it in the corner, but I think it's too big for the corner. Yeah, I could have found a thank you that was just a little bit smaller, but you get the idea. It's something you can play around with, and there are all different ways that you can finish off your card, and could add embellishments and whatnot too. But there you go. The strappy, no, I did it wrong. The strappy script, scrappy strip, you know, that one with the scraps of paper. You'll be able to make a whole bunch of these. They won't take very long, and you'll have some cards ready to go into the mail. So thanks everyone for hopping on with me today and checking out this technique with me, figuring it out. And if you do make some cards using this technique, I would love to see what you come up with, because there is so much that we can all learn from one another. I think that it's fantastic when we share ideas, and I know as people will say, oh, they've learned so much from me as a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, but what they don't know is that I've sometimes learned just as much from them. So thank you very much again for hopping on for Coffee Break Stamping, and keep an eye open, because at some point, hopefully tomorrow morning, I will be posting the pieces for Mystery Card Monday, and you could take a look at what those pieces are and try and come up with a card with those pieces and join in the mystery card fun. So all right, yeah, a tongue twister, Glenda. You're right. And oh, thank you. I'm glad you like it, Elaine. Yeah, the narrower strips, Jackie. I agree. The narrower strips are better. So learning as we go. All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye for now.